I honestly wasn't planning to make a video today, but this came across my timeline on Twitter and I just felt like I had to talk about it. So I have this tweet right here and it says, pink people are saying that black people didn't build this country. What's your thought on this? And it has a video. I'm going to play it for you guys right now.
Why don't you build your own country? You didn't fucking build our country. You didn't build shit. Some of you worked here, yeah, but you didn't build. If that was the case, then you could build your own shit in your own country. Look at Africa. How great is that built? Tell me how great that's built over there. Wow. It's a economic powerhouse over there, isn't it?
No, wrong.
Greatest standard of living on the planet.
And basically, the claim is that black people didn't build anything in this country or didn't build this country. I don't want to say we didn't build anything. Black people have contributed a lot of stuff to the United States. But the claim that they make oftentimes that they built the entire nation, that the slaves built the country, is simply delusional. It is what it is. It's simply a delusional take. And I'm going to tell you why. Like I was arguing with somebody in the comments, 15 states were slave states. This was prior to the Civil War. 19 states were free states. There were other 16 states that had not yet joined the Union that you can't really say were slave states or free states. They weren't states at all, right? So out of 34 states, 15 of them were slave states, mainly in the South. Slaves did what? Mostly pick cotton and pick tobacco. Now, you can make an argument that a lot of that is what built the economy in the South, which it is. That's why a lot of the slavers fought tooth and nail to keep slaves, because that is what drove the free labor of the slaves, is what drove the economy in the South. But when I hear black people claiming that they built the entire United States, that their ancestors built the entire United States, it's simply just a fucking insane take to me. How is it not insane to think that slaves who mostly pick cotton and pick tobacco built an entire country that has 50 states, mind you, today, and 16 of them weren't part of the Union at the time of the Civil War, and the other 19 were free states? So how did slave labor build the United States? Now, I got into an argument with somebody here, and I'm gonna tell you guys about it. So someone responded, black folks been building this country up for centuries and still is. He's wrong, right? This was, he was talking about the original video, and this person saying that black people have been building the country. Now, I replied, yeah, so much building that black neighborhoods are the least desirable and most unkept places in the country. It's crazy you built this nation but can't build your own communities. Now, a lot of people might look at me and be like, wait, why would you be saying that against your own people? Well, I don't identify with black people, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't identify with black people. The reason I don't identify with black people is because black people tell me all the time that I'm not part of their group. Because I'm an immigrant and because I'm a different shade of black from another country, I'm not black. This is what they've literally been celebrating for weeks now about Drake, because he's half white and from Canada. About they not like us, right? I'm not like them. It's funny though, because a lot of black people will gatekeep me from being black, right? They will gatekeep me from being black until it suits their narrative. I'm not black unless it has something to do with helping them or being on their side. But if I also claim I'm not black, all of a sudden they get offended. Oh my God, how dare you say you're not black? Well, you tell me all the time I'm not black. I've literally been told by people before that I shouldn't have permission to say the N-word because I'm not black. I'm a Hispanic from another country, I'm an immigrant, I have no relation to the word. Fine, but don't get mad when I say I'm not black and that I don't identify with black. And I really don't identify with black Americans, I really don't. It's different mindset from different country, just very different. And I'm not saying all black people either. I don't want to say that this is the entirety of the black community. The black community is not a monolith. But there are a lot of black people who literally think like this and gatekeep blackness from other people. The other day, I got into an argument with somebody on Twitter who literally claimed that black people from Africa aren't black because they weren't born in America. My response was, they probably have less white DNA in their blood than you do, because we all know all the essay that happened with black slaves, you know, from their white masters. So those people are probably blacker than most black people here in the United States. But there's literally people that think that just because you are from Africa, you are a black African, you are not black because you weren't born in America. That's how sick this shit is. Anyways, let me get back to this topic. So this person replies, that shows how much education you have. The government purposely placed, never mind. When white people pretend they don't understand how things got to this point, it's because they fully understand the amount of evil behind their people. which is why they would rather lie. I just replied, you literally cannot make the claim that your people built this country when only 1.8% of the US population had slaves, and slavery was a thing largely in the South. The US had a total of 34 states in the Union, 19 of which were free states right before the Civil War. There are a total of 50 states now, and out of those, 35 never had slavery, and 16 of those states joined after the Civil War, yet somehow slaves built the entire nation? Do you not realize how fucking delusional that is? Then someone else replied, the 13 colonies, the South, basically 60% of the country, and a lot of the railroads. Again, how was it 60% of the country when there were 34 states and 19 of them were free? That's not even 50%. And you didn't build anything. You contributed largely to an economy, to the South, to the economy of the South, but you didn't build anything. You know what I like to say? Skyscrapers are not made out of cotton. They're not. You cannot claim you built the country by picking cotton and tobacco. That's insane. Anyways, this person continues. Also, I think you forget about segregation, Jim Crow. Jim Crow was more than just racist laws and lynchings. It was also racist, institutionalized lending practices that lasted until the 70s. Sure, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I responded, okay, so what does that have to do with anything I stated? 15 states had slaves, the other 19 were free states. The remaining weren't even part of the Union until after slavery was abolished. Picking cotton and tobacco does not equal nation building. Only 1.8% of people own slaves. So again, how did the black slaves build the country? The entire country, in which 35 states never had slaves to begin with. Try to stay on topic. I'm not talking about Jim Crow. I'm talking about building an entire nation, which is the claim. I haven't gotten a response from that, but somebody else responded to me. Like I said, white people decide which slide to run with because the people before them said it that way. Slave masters' only creation was the patent office. Why? Because the slaves were the ones creating everything. Slaves never received credit, the master did. This is well known, but okay. Cites no sources. I respond, laughing my ass off, yes, the blacks built everything but have nothing to show for it. The most advanced and powerful people on the planet, yet somehow the most oppressed as well. I just don't understand how you guys could have built everything on the planet and Africa is still in the condition that it is. Basically making the same point that the other guy made. Africa, sorry, as a continent, because a lot of people say, oh, Africa's not a country. Africa as a continent is still a shithole. There's still slavery being practiced in Africa to this day. You can find actual videos of today of people selling and buying slaves in Africa. Yet somehow America is still the #1 worst fucking wrong country on the planet. America can never be washed of its sins, even though slavery is still practiced in Africa. Same person responded to me, I understand why your people would be scared of natural judgment, but we aren't going to pretend that's not already happening. The birth rates have dropped for white people. The sun's activity isn't helping because we know what the sun does to you guys. Not every white person is bad. Okay. And I said, my people, I'm not white, you dumbass. I'm just not delusional about who built the country. Last I checked, skyscrapers aren't made out of cotton, which is true. And this person responded to me, then you have nothing to stand on. You weren't white or black, which means you didn't do shit for this country, but come here to eat off of it, you fucking dirty pussy country, fleeing peasant. You, like many others, come here for a better life, but talk about black people. You come from shit. I said, laughing my ass off, you mad as fuck immigrants come here and do better than you fucking clowns. Keep crying and pretending you built the country and killing each other and claiming victimhood. That's why immigrants have zero pity for you. You were born in a country with all the opportunity in the world, yet you rather cry and play victim and remain useless to society than become something. And I have more right to speak on this country than you do. I actually served this country. I doubt you could say the same. Stay in your victimhood lane. Again, see what I mean? This person, because I'm not white and I'm not American black, they gatekeep my blackness. So when I say that I'm not black, right? Because listen, it's not, I've said it before in videos that I've made. It's not lost on me. I know I can look at my hair, the texture of my hair. I can look at my nose. I can look at my skin. I know I have black in me. I know that. I'm from Dominican Republic. I'm mixed. I know the history of my country and what most of the people in my country are. It's not lost on me. We also had slavery over there. So I don't know why they think that the slavery experience in the United States was unique when slavery is still going on. And most countries in Latin America had slavery also. But anyways, they gatekeep my blackness from me. And as soon as I say that I'm not black, it's a problem. You didn't build the country. Did you contribute to building the country? Yes. We're not claiming that black people didn't contribute. Black people have done a lot in this country to help build the country, but they did not build the entire country. That's like a slap in the face to all the Irishmen, all the Chinese, all the Asian immigrants that came and built and helped actually build the country also. To claim that just you as a group were the only people that did it, and it was the slaves, even though a large majority of the country wasn't even part of the country until after slavery was abolished. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me that these people there are a lot of black people that are delusional in this way. Black people are very delusional, and I think it comes from trying to find an identity, trying to take back what happened to them during slavery. They're trying to find a way to rationalize that their people were slaves, and that because they were slaves, they were strong, and therefore they built the country. So they are really the ones to get credit for this entire nation. It's one of the reasons why they also argue for reparations, but this is why I argue against it. A lot of people had nothing to do with slavery. Majority of people had nothing to do with slavery. There are a ton of immigrants, people that came way after that into the United States that had nothing to do with slavery. Yet somehow my taxpayer dollars should go to giving reparations to a group of people that descend from slaves, even though I had nothing to do with slavery. In fact, my people were enslaved too. But guess what we did? We actually fought our slavers and became independent. That's why Dominicans don't cry. And it's true why a lot of immigrants come to this country and look at black people with disdain almost. Not because of the color of their skin, but because they look at them as a group and say, how can you have been born here, afforded with all these opportunities in the greatest nation on the planet, and you can't get ahead? And then those same immigrants, within one generation, their kids are doing better than a lot of black people. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, it literally has to do with culture. And sorry to say it, I know a lot of black people are probably gonna get on my ass, and but there's a lot of black people that acknowledge this. I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of black people that are waking up and saying, it's the culture. There's a culture of victimhood within the black community. So as long as the black community stays victim, as long as they have that victim mentality, they're never gonna get ahead, because nothing is ever their fault. They don't take responsibility for their actions. They are at fault for nothing. And so if it's never their fault, if it's always the system, if it's the white man keeping them down, they have the excuse to not be successful. Because if you're a victim, you cannot be successful as a victim. If you're a victim of a system that's keeping you down, or so you believe, when you don't succeed, you don't have to take accountability. You can just claim that it's the system. Meanwhile, every other minority in this country, Asians, Hispanics, whatever the fuck, even African immigrants, come to this country and do better than black Americans. Why is that? It's the culture and it's the mentality. And until it changes, nothing's gonna fucking change. Stop thinking you guys built the country. You didn't build the country. You helped build along with everyone else, but you didn't build the country. And stop playing fucking victim and change your community. That's literally the only advice I can give as a non-black person looking from the outside, because I'm not black apparently. So it is what it is. But listen, guys, like I said, I didn't plan to make a video today, but that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and follow me on social media. The links are always in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.